Hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper, and we are going to continue doing research on jewelry. And today, what we are going to do is vintage bracelets. The majority of these are sterling silver. I did leave the gold out because those are really, really pricey, but these sterling silver are worth more than their weight. And then when I say that, it's because of the designer and the style, sometimes the brand that makes them so valuable. So these are items that you could find at estate sales, online estate auctions, and you could make a really, really good profit. If you're a collector, you might have some of these pieces. So I'm going to share with you my top 20. These have sold on eBay the last 90 days going through January 2025, and they're going to start at $900 and go all the way up over 4,000. So these are some really, really good bracelets and a lot of names that you need to know and keep an eye out for when you are sourcing or when you're looking to add to your collection. All right, up first is this George Jensen Danish sterling silver bracelet, design number 3 with a heart charm. This one sold for $899. So incredible price on this beautiful sterling bracelet. George Jensen is definitely a name you want to know. And this doesn't look overly impressive, but here I'm going to show you, this is what you really need to look for. That GJ925 sterling Denmark. You can also see the number 3 there as well. And here you can see this one is a 7-inch bracelet. Beautiful, beautiful bracelet. It is 36 grams. So I will tell you, when I go to antique fairs, the highest that I typically pay is about $2 a gram. So that means this bracelet would have cost $72 and it would have sold for $900. So make sure, if you are looking, I just went to an antique fair this past weekend and picked up quite a few sterling pieces that were by named artists. You definitely can find them out there, and George Jensen is definitely a name you want to know. Next up is a vintage Antonio Pineda Moonstone bracelet, mid-century modernist. This one is $970 silver, and this one sold for $850. So another artist you would want to know. Beautiful moonstones on this one. This one looks pretty heavy. This is a chunky, chunky bracelet. And here you can see that it does have the safety chain. And here it is a little bit closer. So you can see that silver 970 sterling Mexico. There is a ZZ and a 638. And beautiful, beautiful bracelet, and great, great sale at $850. Next up is this beautiful rare antique Art Deco Theodore Farner sterling silver filigree and enamel bracelet. This one was an auction. It got 15 bids and it was a 10-day auction. The bidding was started at just $9.99, and this one sold for $912. So from $10 up to $912. This is a beautiful, beautiful bracelet. And here you can see the marking, the TF there, sterling and Germany. And great, great sale at $912. Next up is a vintage Mexico sterling Matilde turquoise amethyst panel link. This is a beautiful bracelet. This one definitely would have caught my eye. This one sold for $935. So you can see here the turquoise and amethyst are absolutely beautiful together. And this one might have been bought at an antique store. So you can see here the Matilde signature there. And there is the Mexico 925. Beautiful, beautiful bracelet. This has the certificate of authenticity as well. This one is a 7.5 inch, so it's a little bit longer, and an amazing sale at $935. Next up is an antique Austro-Hungarian sterling seed pearl and sapphire cabochon glass bracelet. This one sold for $975. This one is beautiful and definitely would have caught my eye, but I don't know that I would have pegged it for $975. Amazing sapphires in this though. Gorgeous, gorgeous cobalt blue. And here you can see the back of this one. And this one doesn't even look like it was marked sterling that I saw. And I didn't see that it was marked Hungary either. So hopefully if you found this, you would be able to identify it using Google Lens. Next up is one I definitely know to keep an eye out for. And this one's actually a set with the collar, necklace, and bracelet. This is a sterling silver snake, Taxco, vintage enamel. If you see snake stuff and it's sterling, I definitely would pick it up as long as it is affordable. So here you can see this one. Beautiful, beautiful snake. And it does have the Taxco markings on it as well. You can see in there the TS02. And the snake pieces bring big, big money. There's the Taxco marking on the necklace as well. So great sale on this one, $1,000 for the set of Taxco snake pieces. Next up is another auction, and this is a vintage Haar rhinestone art glass Genie fortune teller. This one is not precious metals. So this one is a costume piece that sold for $1,025. This one was an auction. It got 30 bids. It was a 10-day auction. And this one was also started at $9.99. Crazy. 10 bucks into 1,000. And Haar is definitely a name, especially when it comes to the genies and fortune tellers. You can see that really cool genie lamp there. This is a really, really neat piece and a great sale at $1,025. Next up is a vintage rare heavy Constantino super ornate sterling turquoise panel bracelet. This one sold for $1,050. And you can see beautiful work even on the backing of this one. This is a absolutely gorgeous necklace. This is an absolutely gorgeous bracelet. And I do want to point out this one actually has gold accents. And I'm going to go back and show you the marking to where you would know how to determine that. I believe I saw it here. So you can see the Constantino, the 750 is a gold marking, and the 925, of course, is sterling. So the gold accents on this are real gold, and this was a great sale at $1,050. Next up is a LeoKES vintage cuff bracelet. And I'm not familiar with LeoKES, but I wanted to show you and let you know, watch the sterling and turquoise cuffs. Look up the makers, see what they sell for, because a lot of them are very valuable. So this one sold for $1,200. And here you can see it from the side. This one has the beautiful twist inside. There is your sterling silver mark, and beautiful, beautiful cuff, and pretty much a big statement one. I would have put statement in my title if this were mine. They did not. They didn't have much in that title, and it still sold for $1,200. Next up, I have had one very, very similar to this. It was also a Los Castillo. It was also a Taxco and Amethyst. So this is a set with the necklace, bracelet, as well as the earrings, and it sold for $1,250. These definitely are out there. I want to let you know that. So keep an eye out for Taxco, Amethyst, and sterling pieces. I have found quite a few. Here you can see the Castillo mark as well as the sterling made in Mexico. And this one was a really, really great sale. $1,250 on the set. And you do want to take quite a bit of pictures if you are selling a set for this much. And make sure you remember, again, it is Los Castillo Taxco. Next up is another name that is very well known, and that is William Spratling. This is a vintage 1940s sterling silver amethyst and opal cuff bracelet. This one sold for $1,400. So here you can see the Spratling, very, very clearly written, made in Mexico, as well as the sterling silver mark. And this is a really, really beautiful piece. I love the opal and amethyst together. And we've seen quite a few amethyst and sterling pieces in these tops. So definitely keep your eye out for those. Next up is a Trifari, and this is another costume piece. No precious metal in this one. This is a rare Trifari blue demi lune floral rhinestone enamel bracelet. This is an Alfred Felipe, which they do typically sell for more. This one was an auction. It got 16 bids. It was a 7-day auction, and it was started at $50. So $50 into $1,470. And if you look here, I do see some stones missing. That is probably what that as is was there for. You can see quite a few of the clear rhinestones are missing. And this is still a beautiful piece. There's that crown Trifari marking that you want to keep an eye out for. And amazing sale. $1,470 from a $999 start. Next up is another George Jensen. This is Turon sterling silver rutilated quartz bangle in the original box. This one sold for $1,650. Beautiful piece of rutilated quartz there. And this one looks like it is in absolutely pristine condition. Here you can see the Turon as well as the George Jensen 925 and Denmark. And amazing, amazing sale on this one. So remember George Jensen for sure. And if you have the box, that definitely will increase the value. And this one was a great sale at $1,650. Up next is one of my favorite designers, if you do not already know, and that is Miriam Haskell. This is a vintage Art Deco signed cherry leaf bracelet. Bangle gilded brass. I've not seen this one before. This is a really beautiful piece. This one sold for $1,699. And here you can see really, really beautiful Miriam Haskell piece. And it does have the etching on the back. It is clearly marked. There is your Miriam Haskell there close to the hinge. And great, great sale, $1,699. And this is another one that is costume and not precious metals. Next up, I did put a couple of these in here that are sterling silver with gold accents because I found them in sterling silver estate lots before. This is a vintage Hopi Beaufort Daah Hoya sterling silver and 14 karat gold animal motif cuff. This one sold for $1,750. And this one is a really, really beautiful piece. You can see the 14 karat mark there as well as the sterling. And this symbol here, I'm going to assume is for Beaufort Daah Hoya. I was not familiar with that mark, but now I will be. And amazing, amazing sale at $1,750. With this one, we are up to our top 5 selling. This is an Antonio Pineda Mexico vintage sterling silver unusual deep wave cut bracelet. This one sold for $1,800. And this is, again, a lot of these I try and show you are ones that I would not have thought would be worth as much, because you might find them in online estate lots. So great sale on this one at $1,800. Number 4 is a really cool Victorian Civil War hand-carved coral sea dragon bracelet. So the dragons, the snakes, the serpents seem to do very well. This one sold for $1,850. And you can see here it's a wrap one, and it is all carved coral. And really, really neat piece. But again, not one that I would have thought would have sold for $1,850. Next up is a name that I hope you all know, and I've been lucky enough to find a couple of his pieces. This is a David Yurman 10 millimeter Renaissance cable bracelet with amethyst. This one sold for $1,895. And the majority of these bracelets, you're not going to find them cheap. You're going to have to pay up, but they are worth paying up for. So here you can see beautiful, beautiful cuff bracelet, amazing, amazing condition. I think there was one picture here where we can see there's the D Yurman, the sterling and 14 karat plated as well. And this one was an amazing sale at $1,895. Number 2 is another Antonio Pineda, but this one looks a lot different than the last one we saw. This is a wide, weighty vintage sterling and onyx. So if you see, all of these are capped with black onyx, which is really, really cool. And this one sold for $1,995. This one is a very chunky bracelet. So here you can see that silver 970 made in Mexico. I always tell you guys, if you see a marking other than 925, I would definitely research it just a little bit more. This one was a great sale and it sold for almost $2,000. The number 1 selling is a butterscotch amber bracelet, 9-piece. This says old and antique amber. This one sold for $4,850. I think with a lot of amber, you might be okay to do auctions, started at the lowest you're willing to take. I actually have quite a bit of amber I just bought, and I think I might do just that with it. So if you're interested in amber, definitely check out my eBay store. I'm going to try and have some auctions up by the end of the week. And this one was an amazing sale. Very, very close to $5,000 for a amber bracelet. All right, my friend, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed. I know it was a lot of sterling silver, but personally, I buy a lot of sterling silver to sell. And I want to really reiterate to you that it's very important that you research those marks and those names on those sterling pieces, because they could be a lot more valuable than what you think they are. Let me know what your favorite piece was of this video. I really do appreciate you watching. Keep an eye out for a high dollar what sold coming out to you on Friday, and then a regular what sold will be coming out to you on Sunday.